How much better can a life be? Is it always more? What if there will be nothing left? Good day, everyone. I am Shara Theories Tadkawan, one of the members of the Grade to Grain Advocacy. Before I begin, here are a few terms to remember. Climate change refers to a long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. Consumer refers to a person who purchases goods and services for personal use. Consumer behavior is the study of consumers and the processes they use to choose, consume, and dispose products and services. Consumerism is the human desire to own and obtain goods above one's needs. It is the idea that purchasing and owning material goods is the key to being happy. It is quite similar to overconsumption, which is the excessive use of something. Balanced ecosystem signifies a habitat which is sustainable. It consists of animals, plants, microorganisms, and more, which depend on each other and their surroundings. Every breath of air we take, every mouthful of food that we take, comes from the natural world. And if we damage the natural world, we damage ourselves. In 2018, the United Nations released dire news for humanity. The news reported that we only have less than 2 decades and plenty of hard work to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius and avoid its devastating and irreversible damage to the Earth. And when I say devastating and irreversible damage, this means that future calamities and events can no longer be solved. Even powerful and frequent typhoons, wildfires, and floods are to be expected. Observe these two pictures. This is the Lake Mead located in the United States of America, disappearing after 22 years. Now let's look at this short clip. This is the disappearing Arctic sea ice from September 1984 to 2016. Glaciers in the poles are melting, and when ice in the poles melt, it causes the sea level to increase, and it would warm the oceans. Warmer oceans cause a change in our climate, which will affect biodiversity or every living thing on Earth. And when the ecosystem is affected, it will affect us because we are part of the ecosystem. According to a study produced by the Climate Central, it showed that around 150 million people living in some areas are set to be submerged by 2050, and about 70% of these people at risk are Southeast Asia, including the Philippines. Since the Philippines is a collection of islands, there are many people living on the coast which will be affected. So what causes these phenomena? Climate change. And one of its great contributors is consumerism. Before, we can only buy goods in stores, and if we are staying at home, we are away from temptations of consumer spending. However, due to the advancement of technology, parcels can now be delivered in front of our doors in just one click. Credit cards allow people to buy things and pay it later, which makes it easier for people to give in to impulsive purchases. Mass media also adds shape to consumer behavior by telling us the ways in which a product can change our lives for the better, which drives us to buy in large quantities. Advertisements and billboards bombard us with visions of what we could be if we buy these products, which locks us in a world that in order to find happiness or comfort, we need to keep buying things. It was said that 60 to 80% of the impacts on the planet come from household consumption. In addition, consumers are responsible for up to 80% of the world's water use. We are consuming resources at an alarming rate and quicker than our planet is able to replenish. Thus, we should change our consumption habits as this would have a drastic effect on our environmental footprint. The proponents would like to conduct the Greed to Grain advocacy as an awareness to how the consumer's habit of overconsumption contributes directly to climate change. The advocacy is intended to begin in barangays and institutions in Cagayan de Oro City. This way, the community is able to work towards solving the social issue in which they are involved. Our deadline to resolve this issue is very near. Hence, the general goal of this project is to shed light and take action on the current alarming global issue that we are experiencing, since we humans are both the cause and the victim of this issue. It is disappointing that some citizens and the media are turning a blind eye on this issue, instead of disseminating information to the public and allowing them to have the right to know about the issue that concerns their safety and future. Furthermore, a study conducted in Ireland found that consumers' attitudes towards food waste directly impact the food waste quantities they generate, and consequently the global warming effects, thus suggesting that awareness of each individual is crucial to help stop the deterioration of our planet. The issue will be addressed through seminars and through dissemination of infographic posters online, as well as printed infographic posters made of recyclable and biodegradable products. This would encourage the people to start the change by changing their routines and habits that contribute to the destruction of the earth. In addition, it would also allow them to educate and encourage others to do the same. The current and the next generation of every living organism on Earth, such as animals, plants, and us humans, would be the beneficiaries of our advocacy. The benefits include a balanced ecosystem, a clean and safe environment, and a security in food and health. This would mean extinction of species would be less possible, there will be enough food and oxygen, and places will no longer be submerged in water or be buried underground. So what can we do? First, be wise in buying and consuming products and services. Take note, the lesser, the better. Ask yourself if it's essential. Second, plan your purchases. List down the goods that you really need to buy and plan when you will consume it. Also practice eating leftovers and checking the expiration date. Third, reuse and recycle things. The most effective way to reduce waste is to not create it in the first place. Reusing allows us to find new ways to use things that otherwise would have been thrown out, while recycling allows us to turn something old and useless into something new and useful. This is very helpful since the production of new products emits greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change and requires a lot of materials and energy before it can be transported. Fourth, stop or lessen meat consumption. According to researchers from Norwegian University of Science and Technology, or NTNU, it takes about 16,315 liters of water to produce 1 kilogram of beef. And globally, agriculture produces one-fourth of all greenhouse gas emissions. And within that, meat production specifically contributes about 14% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Remember that everything we buy has an environmental price tag. The more goods we consume, the more resources are needed to be extracted from the earth. So be part of turning greed to green. Thank you.